Here's your new film report on the Woody Allen movie Magic in the Moonlight. This is Humbler Axe who wrote this new film report. Hello, Mr. Allen. I hope you've a moment to spare me from the next film I am sure you're working on to hear from an old fan who is weary with what you do. Why I would take the time to bother you with you is something I don't understand, because I know deep down that nothing I say could have any pull on your heart. Yet allow me to say that I worry for you. Why you should work so hard in your rarefied age and contumacious role, with no need to care for money, creating such drivel is far from my ken. But hold on. I think I know. You are a master at buffaloing people who fail to see, for the most part, that you have only your inadequacies to sell in a farm that's crowd-pleasing. Or you can always fall back on melodious jazz refrains, as you do in your Magic in the Moonlight. Whenever a scene needs to be changed, you call upon jazz, and off goes the film in a fresh new direction, in a sequence that you don't care to segue into with any artful talent. Yet let me compliment you, how you have talent for picking a masterful director of photography, Darius Kanji, to give us, your audience, lovely glimpses of Côte d'Azur coastlines and grand mansions. And you are also blessed with Sonia Grand for providing terrific costume looks to reflect how folks dressed in the 1920s in France. And hey, I can't decry the wonderful actors and actresses who have agreed, I would guess, more for the paycheck than the challenge to fill your screen with rich panache. There's Colin Firth, who plays an illusionist with the name Wei Ling Su, which might be your coy way of hinting he does such wailing so. Your plot has him completing a sellout conjuring gig in Berlin in 1928, dressed in Chinese mask that makes him bald and svelte with Fu Manchu mustache. He is met in his dressing room by a fellow magic friend, Howard Birkin, who knows how he likes debunking folks who pretend that they have a contact with the dead world. Howard tells him of a woman, Sophie Baker, played by Emma Stone, who is in seance prep for getting Grace, a rich widow residing in the south of France, to believe that she can contact her deceased husband so she can ask him questions like bump once for yes and twice for no if he was loyal to her throughout their marriage. I won't reveal that bump number. So anyway, Wei Ling Su, now calling himself Stan Taplinger, hastily goes along with Howard, played by Simon McBurney, to the Catledge family estate. There he meets his posier, a charming girl who seems to be able to tell even Stanley things about him that startle him a bit. His friend Howard confesses to him that he has not been able to figure her out and hopes that Stan can himself. Now, Mr. Allen, all of this is chatty and certainly not harming a soul on this entire planet. But are you serious? Do you really want to be known as someone who creates a situation that you have no skill in dealing with? Why would you do to us what you are allowing your characters to do to each other? Is there delight in conjuring with us? Well, anyway, let us proceed. Along with Mother Grace, played by Jackie Weaver, there is her son Bryce, who is played by Hamish Linklater. A nice enough guy, but a limpid scion of Catledge wealth who spends his days wooing with his ukulele Mystic Sophie. He promises her the moon and tempts her into marrying him with visions of cruises on his yacht to faraway shores. Sophie's mother, who's played by Marcia Gay Harden, does a credible job, Mr. Allen, acting a true mystic's mother, as she angles to get Grace to set up an endowed foundation dedicated to furthering her daughter's work, with a tad thrown in for mom's pay. Certainly she'd love to see her daughter married to Bryce. Daughter is not so sure. You see, Mr. Allen, this is the kind of plot that bears close resemblance to old plays we used to do in grade school. They really aren't worthy for a man of your rank, unless, of course, you're regressing and are all too happy trying to spoof us folks. And when you bring in Stanley's aunt, Aunt Vanessa, ably played by Eileen Atkins, close to Stanley as no one else, who just happens to have an estate near Grace's, and use this aunt as a backboard for Stanley to bounce off his consternation with his falling in love with Sophie, you show a modicum of wiseacring that had me down in my seat, not from suspense, but from total embarrassment over your chutzpah in boring us so. I take off my hat, though. Between these talented folks, the brilliant photography, and the jazz blowing in just when things hit the wall, plus, of course, the lovely costumes, showing us how folks dressed so chicly in those days, your movie is half worth seeing. And, of course, the end does make that bit of closure, which fits well with your own outlook. My gripe is that you have the tools to create a much better film. I think the real pity is for yourself, much more than for us fans. Why don't you spend more time dealing with the questions you have about whether there is more to life than what you perceive? Sit for 30 minutes in calm silence daily, and only then start on film work, rather than rushing pell-mell from this film onwards. Mr. Allen, this film's a 5. What my grade grants: 8, about as good as it could get; 7, lacking that bit of excellence; 6, somehow it just didn't work well; 5, I have to feel bad about it; and 4, all that work and nothing to show. That's all for now. For more reports, see HumblerActsMovieblog.com. That is spelled out HumblerActsMovieblog.com. Thank you.